All right, guys, welcome back. Week 12 in the books, and we are done. Regular season is done. I can't believe we made it this far either. It just seems like last year we were doing the same exact thing, but a year has flown by, a season has flown by, and we have our playoff brackets. We have our champions playoff bracket, and we have our losers playoff bracket. Both have some kind of meaning, one obviously a little bit more than the other. But before we get into that, I figured we'd just go ahead and give a little tribute to our fallen members that didn't make the cut this last week. I know that was pretty touching, guys, and I really wanted to go out of my way and tell those guys I really appreciate everything you did for us this year. You got out there, you drafted your team, you played hard. It didn't work out in your favor, but you did a really great job, and above all, you deposited $100 into one of our bank accounts, and we just want to say thank you because without you, our pockets would be a little bit lighter for the winners. And we need those guys that are going to fill the pot. And we really just want to say from the remaining six that are in contention that we really appreciate your sacrifice. All right, I know we've had a lot of fun today. Get a little video montage, get a little bit going, a little trash talking, a little bit different today. And before I get into our playoffs that are getting ready to start, starting Thursday with 3 big games on Thanksgiving, so please remember that. Before I get into that, big shout out to Solis, Christopher Solis. I cannot believe he actually made the playoffs. He did have a tie in his record, and believe it or not, he snuck in because Barrett couldn't close the door on Lowly Tilla Baby. One of the worst teams in the league, yet somehow got a pretty good roster. Coming down to the final minutes of that Monday night game last night, RG3 did a little 8-yard scamper and pretty much sealed Barrett's fate. You got to hate it when a game that means absolutely nothing crushes your fantasy season. So as much as I hate to see you go, sorry, but that's just the way it happens. But big ups to Solis, somehow squeaking it out. Big ups to Tillman, to being a dick and killing Barrett. And not so big ups to Barrett, who fell flat in a game he needed, a game he wanted, but a game he didn't get. So let's jump right into this playoff bracket. Let's go ahead and do the losers first. It seems only fitting. Rally Cap killing everybody. The most retarded name in fantasy football. Dead Money. Mitchell McKee gets that name for a reason. Hence, didn't make the playoffs. But I do appreciate that money that got deposited. Versus 5-0 Check Your Six, Mr. Greg Tuning. If he would have beat the teams he was supposed to beat the last 2 weeks in Goundry and Mitch, he would have made the playoffs. But guess what? He didn't. So now he gets to fight for his life to make sure he doesn't get that beautiful Jerry Jones ownership award. Real quick. Matchup looks like it's going to go to Greg. It really just depends on how Manning does, but that's how Mitch's team's been all year. The worst team with 5 wins somehow. This should be easily Greg's matchup. I'm not even going to go into players. Look out for Greg on this one. He's going to get the win. If he gets the win here, he's automatically not qualified for the loser's trophy. So that's kind of a little bit of incentive. Not to mention he really does not like Mitch. So let's see what happens there. Tilla Baby versus Awesome Champs International. James Barrett, the guy who barely almost made the playoffs, but long story short, didn't make the playoffs. Versus Keith Tillman, Tilla Baby, the guy that has not been the same since I waxed him 2 years ago. I know you still remember it. We all remember it, and I'm gonna keep bringing it up until you beat me. And it's been 2 years, so you got something to do next year. Real quick, Barrett looks like he's projected to win, which is kind of funny because this is just a matchup from the exact week last week. Really depends on what's going on with RG3. He's been looking like duty as of lately, and there's rumors that they might sit him for the rest of the year. So let's just go ahead and say Barrett's going to win this one just for old time's sake. We're going to give him this one considering he couldn't get the one last week. So yay, you get one. Fantasy is all luck, Mr. Ryan Osborne versus Feshtas Mania. This one is an interesting matchup. This is the one matchup versus where the sports genius, prodigy as he liked to call himself, who is sitting pretty much at the bottom of the barrel, gets a chance to try to make his way back up the loser's bracket so he doesn't get the trophy, versus the guy who owns the trophy. Who's seen him coming back and sitting in the same exact place as last year? I definitely did. And we'll see what happens here. Osborne does have a better team. He's only got 3 wins. He probably should have gotten at least 5. I mean, him and Mitch should be a little different. Mitch's team should be dead last with 3 wins, and somehow Ryan should at least have gotten 5, but he didn't. I think Osborne's going to win this one. He's got the better team. Plus, I would like to see Wes get all the way down to that final game and possibly not or get to keep his trophy. I think it would be a little interesting if it's actually the reigning loser against somebody else to see if he gets to keep the trophy. So with all that said, there's the losers out of the way. Let's get to the champions part of the playoff bracket. First and foremost, you got your 1 and 2 seeds who are receiving a bye for the playoffs round number 1, which is, of course, yours truly, West Coast going Mach 5, the commish. Also, your defending champion, Umberto means Shark, Nate McMillan. I guess it's only fitting that the guy that has the best team and the guy that won the championship last year gets the byes this week. So let's go ahead and move on to our actual matchups. We got 2 matchups in the champions thing. We got Lawton Killers, Chris Solis, the guy that barely squeaked it in, but guess what? He's in. He can win it all. That's the amazing thing about squeaking in as the 6th seed. Anything can happen. Versus Morning Woodhead, Michael Fisher, the guy that I did not see this coming, but guess what? His team is actually pretty good. It's kind of loaded Cowboys heavy, so Thanksgiving Day is going to be a big, big day. I'm looking right now, as of it stands, Chris Solis has got 5 players playing on Thursday, and looks like, let's count them out real quick. 1, 2, 3, 3 from Fish. So we got 5-3 on Thursday. So Thanksgiving Day is going to be a big, big, big day for both of these guys. That's a huge chunk to be going into your week. Solis could be looking good going into Sunday, or he could be praying for those other 4 to be coming back. So into the matchup, projections right now are showing Solis slightly. I got to say Fish is going to win this one only because he has the better of the wide receivers. He's got Calvin Johnson. He's got Dez Bryant. They're going to want to show out. They're going to want to get that turkey leg, turkey bowl, whatever you want to call it. I think they're going to have good days. And if there's anything we've seen, when both those guys go off, Fisher is usually carried to a victory. So I see him moving on to face Big Nate in the semifinals, the Final Four. The other matchup we got on here is Corner on the Cob. Jonathan Ostad making a return to the playoffs. Not last year, but the year before. He did finish runner-up to me in that year's league. Versus John Goundry, a previous one-time champion, trying to get back to form a little bit. Starting to sneak in there. He's starting to get up, a little to speed. He's got Drew Brees going. Gronk's been coming alive as of late. He's got a couple of lower guys in there that's picking up the slack. Could be a real good matchup right now. Showing John winning this one. Based off projections, which, don't mean anything. They also have Harry Douglas getting 15 points. Don't see that. This one's going to be close. This is by far the matchup of the week. I'm going to say John's going to get the win, as much as I hate to say that. I'd really like to see him crash and burn, go down in flames, and just cry about it, drown his sorrows for a week. But I think he's going to squeak it out. I do. I think Brees has a big game, and I'm not saying that Ostad can't win this, because he definitely can, because he's got a competing team too. Brady's been putting it on as of late. Anytime you got Peterson, you got a chance. He's got a real big defensive matchup coming up. It looks like he's got Seattle on his bench as of right now, but if he plays Seattle, they do play New Orleans on Sunday. So Last time I checked, Breeze, the quarterback for John, and Seattle, the defense for Ostad. This could that could be a matchup in itself. I'm going to give the slight nod to John, but if Ostad pulls this off, I am 100% not surprised. So keep an eye out, guys. It's been a real fun year, and this is the best part of the year, the playoffs. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are excited too. Gives you guys a little something to play for. The losers, the guys that didn't make the cut. You know you're not really losers, but your team just wasn't very good this year. But guess what? That doesn't mean you don't have anything to play for. You got that bracket, your bracket all alone. Don't be the last two people in that final matchup in Week 15 that are fighting to try to get a win. Try not to be the team that gets to take home the Jerry Jones Ownership Award, aka our Losers Trophy. I'd really like to see Wes give it up. It's really looking like he's going to be able to keep it, but I'd like to see somebody else get it. I'd also like to see somebody else get the championship trophy. No offense, Nate. I just like to keep it going around. Back-to-back champions are nice, but the more we spread it around, the better chance we get competition going in this league. So, all right, guys, we'll keep it up. Let's have a real good week. Set those lineups. Please do not forget 3 games. That's 6 teams across the board on Thursday. You know the usuals, and then you got that nice Sunday night game on the NFL Network. So please set those lineups, and let's get ready. I'm excited. Hope you guys are excited, and we'll check in this next week to see what happens. Let's see who makes the Final Four, who's also cruising to that last place trophy. And I will give you guys a little tidbit. I'm not saying anybody's moving out of the league, because everybody who's in it currently does get to keep their spot for next year unless they do not want it. But there are some rumors that Mr. Fawcett does want back in. Like I said, nothing official, no word coming down. Nobody's being moved or kicked out or anything like that. So don't freak out. But if you are looking to move out of the league this next year, rumors are Mr. Fawcett is missing out on the league and would like to come back. So keep that in mind. We'll bring that up at the end of the year when we talk about renewing. And other than that, let's have a good week. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I know I don't usually come off as, what's the better term for it, caring. But I do. Hope everybody has a great, safe holiday. And other than that, have another great week, and we'll see you guys this next week.